What's happening, Battle Brothers? It's Ave Dominus Noob here to bring you back some 40k content, and I want to talk about the Night Lords some more. So I did a video about why I love the Night Lords, and I basically just talk about some of the reasons I think that they're pretty cool or comical or whatever. But I think I flipped the script on this week. I think we're going to talk about why people who don't like the Night Lords don't like the Night Lords. So this is my video. What does everybody hate about the Night Lords? I think that we should just start with the obvious, getting right into it. The Night Lords are terrible, horrible, murderous criminals. They are some of the worst people you can find in the galaxy, next to the Emperor's Children and the Dark Eldar, and they still give them a run for their money, in my opinion. What makes the Night Lords such horrible people and such terrible Chaos Space Marines, even by their definition? Well, for one, they thrive on torture. Take a Dark Eldar and basically put him inside power armor, and maybe they don't have like the arcane magic of the Dark Eldar, but what we're looking at is just Chaos Space Marines who have been going for 10,000 years, who specialize in murdering your population, torturing them, skinning them, and throwing them into pits, being pirates throughout the galaxy, you know. And then if we're going to talk about the Night Lords trilogy, some of the things they got up into in there have just killed millions. They're slavers. They pick on the weak specifically and don't feel bad about it. One of their specialties is literally flaying people. One of the members of their crew on the Night Lords trilogy was called Varial the Flayer, and he wasn't even a Night Lords, but they considered him to be later on once they got to understand what type of person he was. So understand that even if you are a Space Marine and you are from another chapter, if you are adept at torturing people and have the same lack of morals as the Lords do, then they will consider you a Night Lord. That's how terrible they are. The absolute worst part is that they know. They absolutely know that they are terrible, horrible people, and they lavish in the destruction and the chaos and in the lament. They will take time after a battle's over to go ahead and slaughter and torture all of the population. And why? For funsies. So this next point is something that I bet even people who are Night Lord stans like me, it even gets on their nerves. The Night Lords are by far the weakest legion, and it's not even a debate. They will tell you themselves that they don't get into fair fights because they tend not to do so well in those, and they get into fights that have their advantage at them because this is their specialty. So if you ever get them in like a one-on-one situation, the Night Lords are almost always going to get their ass beat by the sons of whoever. If you look at the Thrallmas campaign, when Horus sent them out to stall the Dark Angels, they got their asses beat and almost ceased to function as Legion right there. They got their Primarch captured, even though he was acting like an insane person and doing whatever he wanted to. He pretty much deserved to be captured. He was not helping. But on the other hand, like, the Night Lords did not handle themselves in that fleet battle. And they, once again, they probably should have stuck to their specialty, because having known who they are and knowing that they don't fight direct battles, they should have seen the Dark Angels fleet coming. It's the biggest fleet in the Imperium at the time, I believe, and they're just going to try to smash into them. Of course they got their asses beat. Then you got the Siege of Terra, where some of the remnants of the Night Lords decided to follow the War Master there. They were led by this guy, the Painted Count. The Painted Count got his ass beat by, I always forget what his name, Ralzron. Ralzron beats this guy's ass with a demon sword, and like, the Night Lords basically get trounced on the wall, and we don't really hear back from them again. And like, this was a major L for the Lords. And then their main specialty, using fear as a tactic during war, doesn't even work on their brothers, because Space Marines fail to see what the hell fear even is, and at the same time has been bred out of them for the most part. It's real rare instances, but the Night Lords are not the ones to make them feel it. The Night Lords are way better at dragging fear out of regular humans and stuff like that. The Space Marines don't be on that shit, and since it doesn't work on them, once again they get their asses beat. This next point is going to be a small point because I have not read enough 40k books to judge, but it seems to me, in my opinion, that the Night Lords don't make really good antagonists. Now, they make good protagonists, even though they don't do the right thing as protagonists. They don't act like heroes. Don't take it like I'm saying that for a second. But the Night Lords be some edgelord ass, flavor of the week ass, like lame ass villains a lot of the times. Most of the time they get scrubbed out. They don't impact a whole lot of stuff. Now, keep in mind, I have not read the Kharadon's Red Tide yet, and I hear that the Night Lords are actually good villains in that one, so I'll reserve judgment. Maybe I'll do a book club with my homie Dreamer Chris over the Red Tide. But as it stands, Night Lords are some weak-ass villains, bro. The fact that they're already weaker than the rest of the Space Marines is way more interesting to see things from their point of view. They're not super duper. They'd be as like, oh, it's a Night Lord and he's scary. That's how they always describe it. And then what happens to the Night Lord in said book? Instantly dead. And this brings me to my final point on why everyone hates the Night Lords. You gotta blame it all on the Primarch, Conrad fucking Kurz. You either love or hate this guy. And I say a lot of people hate him just because he's messes with a lot of people's favorite characters. And also because he's kind of got like this victim type mentality. It's not necessarily that he's got this victim type mentality, but he uses his insanity and his visions as a justification for all the horrible stuff he's doing. In reality, he just enjoys doing horrible stuff. And I think a lot of people see that hypocrisy and it turns them off from him. But, you know, you really can blame Kurz for most of the things that the Night Lords are going through. The only thing you can't blame Kurz for is the fact that they're from Nostromo. He probably could have got the Emperor to change the recruiting world or something like that, or blew it up early. But I think that the Night Lords as a Legion were doomed. The Night Lords were doomed as a Legion 1 because they were from Nostromo, and growing up there was just terrible. And they were doomed too from following Conrad Kurz right after that. They were a doubly damn Legion, in my opinion. And then the Allure of Chaos, nothing good was going to happen for these guys at all. I think another thing that people don't like about Kurz is that he actually got killed by an assassin instead of like a Primarch or going into the warp or something silly like that. Now, Dorn did get killed by Black Legion, as far as I know. They haven't done a Avalon the Great Scouring yet, so we're just gonna go with that. But like, Kurz kind of got like the weakest death out of all the Primarchs, as far as I know. Most of the Primarchs either went into the warp, or, well, Ferrus Manus got killed by another Primarch, so there's more honor in getting killed by a brother, but getting killed by an assassin, and the assassins are tough, don't get me wrong. A Calidus assassin, a take down a Space Marine, a baseline Space Marine that's not a main character anyway, any day of the week. But on the other hand though, like, Kurz is a Primarch, and he's a battle Primarch, so for him to not even fight back and get his head cut off, I think that was disappointing for a lot of people. Now, in my opinion, it made a great story because that's what set up Soul Hunter. So Kurz's death kind of gave the book its legitimacy and gave his sons not necessarily purpose, but something to do throughout the galaxy for the next 10,000 years. So to me, if you ask me, I love Kurz. Kurz is like in my top 3 traitors, but I think Kurz is one of the main reasons people hate the Night Lords. So hey, that's my video. Why do you hate the Night Lords? Why do you love the Night Lords? Was this all just blasphemy? And are you going to flay me and crucify me and put me in a skating pit after this? I'll be Dominus Nox.